on the to-do list? Do you have a specific list for us?
Well,
of what you
I'll say several things. This is not a totally exhaustive list because as my memory is not what it used to be, even from this morning. Look, I think there's no doubt that, as you've heard the President say, we've got to deal with issues around taxes. We're going to have to deal with issues around unemployment insurance and compensation as well. You've heard the President make mention of START. That's something that is crucially important to our national security and to our foreign relations. There are issues around don't ask, don't tell that the President and I think many people believe are best dealt with through a legislative process and not through a legal system. There are priorities such as the DREAM Act. There are several things that, and again, I know I'm probably leaving out more than I'm mentioning, but I think there's no doubt we have plenty of work left to do. I think we also have plenty of time with which to
ask the Pentagon to hurry up to November 30th, the report, its internal report on...
I think the original date was the December 1st. Obviously, the report is being released a day or so early in order to have some informed hearings on the survey and its results. I think those hearings, if I'm not mistaken, start on the 1st. But I think it's important if you look at what others have said, particularly, take for instance Secretary Gates. I mean, we know, we can do this legislatively. The House has done this. The Senate can do this. Do this legislatively, which provides an avenue with which to implement the policy. A court doing this is not likely to provide the Pentagon and others with a pathway for doing this. And I think in order to do this in a way that the President and others want to see, that doing this legislatively is the best way to do this. Yes?
Back on Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the Service Chief of the Navy recently praised the Pentagon report and said he's eager to see what happens with the Hill with regard to repeal. But the remaining 3 service chiefs, they're all on the record saying they want to wait for the report to come out before Congress takes action.
Correct. Does
the President anticipate that once this report comes out, those service chiefs will be on board in favor of repeal?
I think the service chiefs, as I understand it, are meeting with the chair of the Joint Chiefs and with the Secretary as we get closer to this report coming out in order to discuss where they are based on that survey. The President has not yet seen that survey, so I don't want to presume whether based on those results that would change their opinion or not. And I think it's best not to get too far down the road on commenting on that until we get a chance to personally see the substance.
What's not the purpose of the study, though? You've said the President has supported repeal since you've known him, and the President has said he wants to work with military leaders. You're in the State of the Union address. He said he wants to work with the military leaders to get them on board with repeal. So what's the point of this report if not to get those service chiefs on?
Well, I'm not saying that it won't. I'm just saying I think the original question you asked me is, would that report change their mind? I haven't seen the report. The President hasn't seen that report, and neither of us have had an opportunity to talk with the chiefs. That's not to say that it won't. That's not to say that, and quite frankly, that's not to say whether you have unanimous agreement or not that the policy. Look, the President is on. The President has known where people have stood on this policy for as long as he's supported changing that policy. So I think it will be important to, again, view the attitudes, to view and to use those attitudes to craft a pathway to implementing a changed legislative policy. That's what the President has advocated through this process. Again, I can't. We may have a better sense of that when we get an opportunity to talk to those that have seen the report and get a chance to look at that report ourselves.
Has the President had conversations directly with the service chiefs to get them on favor of legislative repeal during the lame duck session of Congress?
I know the President has spoken previously with the service chiefs on this subject, and I expect that as this report is finalized and released, that he'll have an opportunity to speak directly with the chair, the vice chair, and the service chiefs as this process moves forward.